Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show, give you a little happy good willings to you all. I've been gone for a minute, but I've been handling business, you know what I mean? So that is what it is. But we getting back into it. And we talking about love versus no love. We're going to tie everything into what's going on today, including the bombings in Austin, the unsolved, the still saga of the Tupac and Biggie story, Wakanda, Black Panther, these streets, gangsterism, thug life, drug dealing, dope dealing, and we'll even bring it back to slavery, the white man in his cave days, King Negus, and that's Negus, and then black people at a time of peace, the fall. We're gonna get into a array of topics and subjects right here on Verbal Pick Radio. So make sure you share this, subscribe, make sure you tell your friends, this is a unique show. It's none like any other that you've experienced or heard. We give information on this show that you probably never heard anywhere else, but we think outside the box. We are critical thinkers. We're open-minded, and we're not afraid. And so we'll get into the show. But before I do, I got to give a shout out to all those that's out there, especially in the music game, that are using music or sound as a way to liberate or get a message through. Appreciate that. Shout out to Brother Krishna, Sister Pebbles, who frequently help me with this show, and I appreciate that. We're getting ready to put the episodes of Everyday People on YouTube, so I keep y'all abreast on where y'all can go view that. Hopefully we can get that done within the next month. And so, here we go. Back, and we're going to start in the Caucasus Mountains, in the caves and the Caucasus Mountains, European. We could go to Yakub, their originator, and the system of tricks and lies he taught. But I just want to take this from the standpoint of environment, climate, and mind shaping. Think about it. You in the wet, cold climate. You scrapping for food. This is your first engram or your first reality on life that shapes your character or that shapes your being into the future. You're a person who is not gentle, very aggressive nature and behavior, because that was your form of surviving. Nothing was sacred. Everything was in dire need for survival. If you had caught some wild game and was eating it, and this was prior before they knew how to make fire, and the other person was hungry, then it was kill or be killed. The strongest survived, just like flexing muscles as the beast in the field. You'd snatch it. Or today we call it robbery because you have to eat. That came from a system of no love because you couldn't show love because that was a sign of weakness, living in cave conditions. Now you take that back to Africa, North Africa, all throughout Africa, West Africa, East Africa. You created by the God himself. So he put that mechanism or system of love in your very nature. And so it was more about sharing. It was more about understanding. It was more about knowledge as an expression to get closer to the Creator. It wasn't about gaining knowledge to see how you can get over on your fellow man. It was more or less knowledge so you can help as a whole, and you shared that knowledge and everyone benefited. So we dealing with two different mindsets. One mindset of love, one mindset of no love. Okay. So now the mindset of love meets the mindset of no love. The mindset of love sees that the mindset of no love didn't have what they had, wasn't walking upright like they walked upright, and wasn't speaking with the vibration and sound of pitch of a well put together language, or a language that was created out of thought. It was basically a language that was created out of survival. So the love said, okay, well, let's teach these people of no love. Let's show them that love is greater. Now, some would ask, well, why would you show them that love is greater than their no love when that's how they survived and that was they functioning, and they can't tell the difference because in their mind, they might think that their way is the way of love. Well, that leaves a stone unturned. So let's turn over this stone and see if whose theory is true. After all, we came forth from God. Okay. So now we say Moses in the teachings, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is right and exact, always will be, always have been. So Moses goes, put the harness on, teach them a third of the knowledge, as Brother Farrakhan stated, which that other third didn't teach the rest, but that's why they fight amongst each other today. But that other third, they come out and they're saying, hey, man, y'all built all this. You living by the Nile River. You got fish and markets and trading systems and things of value, and y'all getting along in peace and harmony. Hey, what's going on? Because you got to remember, they lost 2,000 years. They went into the Caucasus Mountains and began living the beast life. They lost all knowledge of self. But those who Moses taught think that half original man. They think Moses. Some say Moses was Thutmose, the Pharaoh. We got to dig into that at a later time, but for this purpose, we just talking of dealing with love and no love. So, they're saying, you all jovial, living amongst building pyramids and gazing up in the stars and philosophizing, proof the Nubians, the Egyptians taught Greek, taught Rome, which is based on Western philosophy today. So let's continue. You can look that up. Okay. So, uh, no love, looking at the jovial original man, sharing knowledge, but he flashbacks to his uh, mindset of, you know, why share when I can have it all? And I never have to worry about going hungry again. He saw love as easy prey. He saw the armies of Egypt, Africa, uh, as being weak at the first go round of invasions, basically because they wasn't fighting to the death. They wasn't fighting to kill. They were playing games at war. Games like who could throw the spear the farthest, or who could humiliate the other armies, men, who could humiliate them the most would be the victor. The slaughter and killing didn't come into play until No Love comes out of the Caucasus Mountains and started killing. So we're going to fast forward a little bit till slavery time. Now, love is a slave to no love. No love was raping the men, raping the women, killing the babies, destroying the culture, wouldn't allow love to pray to his creator from ways that was passed down from his ancestors. He even killed him for that. And so love had to develop or learn the system of no love in order to survive. That's why you would hear people say things like, if I retaliate in the manner in which they did unto me, then I'll become just like them, and I refuse to become like them, so I'll handle it in a different way, or I'll just have to face the consequences. But I refuse to hand over my soul to the likings of no love. So now we at Black Wall Street, Oklahoma, first Black Wall Street, making money hand over fist under system of love. No love, he couldn't stand, he hated the fact that we were making money and doing it in a manner contrary to the manner in which he could do amongst his own people, because he knew that system of love wouldn't work amongst his own. He couldn't make money that way, so they were like, we have to destroy the adverse. And the adverse was a system of money making out of love. And out of love, sometimes you will have disagreements, but you'll learn to, let's put it like this, you'll have, if you're thinking out of love, you'll have a preconceived vision. And I'm talking about that vision with the third eye, of where you can see that love within that person, that inner God, to find out where y'all are miscommunicating, so you can mend that fence and you keep building. That's how the system of love, right? Okay. So no love bombed them. Flew over with planes, shot with guns, and destroyed the first Wall Street which was Black Wall Street. That's even creating love to a point to where, you know, I have two natures. I don't want to dig into my other nature and pull that person out. Like Rodney King, can we all get along? Time passed. Dump drugs on the community. Heroin. Moving on to the 80s, 83, 84, 85. Dump crack on the community. See, prior to crack, during the era of, prior to that, when you had from Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, to the Army Elijah Muhammad, the Black Panthers, the Pan-Africanists, groups that were still holding on to that strain of black love, holding on because in that genetic coding in your DNA, you still remember a time when we ruled out of love up under the sun, and you can visualize it within your third eye. You can see it. That's why that idea of Wakanda wasn't so far-fetched. Okay, but then poverty hits in. Extreme poverty. Now, you had black people who had their moms and dads who was able to land a job or make money and was able to give to the child and show them love. Then you had another segment of blacks who didn't have that luxury, but their first bicycle or the first clothes that they may have gotten could have came from a white person, to where they were being institutionalized but didn't understand it at the time, because in their mind they say that, the person who showed me love first was a white person. The goes to show to say that, don't get me wrong, there are some good white people in this world. True indeed. But I'm talking about those who would do a kind act just to plant a seed so they can institutionalize you or gain your trust and tell you, hey, go on, we might not have any evidence that you committed the crime, but go on, admit to it. I'll look out for you in here. I got a partner that has a record label. We're going to hook you up when you get out. You're going to make, but they slaving you. But you're saying, well, hell, the first act of material kindness I got, a material gain, came from the white man. So, I'm gonna take a leap of faith and roll with it. Okay, so now you got two mindsets growing up in the hood. One saying that, look, man, in order to be a gangster, you can't have no love. I'm gonna show you how that plays out, right? You grew up, right? Could be in a household where was no love. Say mama was gone. Or say mama worked all day, daddy wasn't at home, right? Let's say your uncle got enough money to buy you a bike for Christmas, or buy you your favorite toy or whatever, right? Somebody else stayed next door to you, or an apartment above you, or a friend of yours come over and visit. They steal it. Now you hurt. Now you remember things that you heard grown folks talk when they say, niggas ain't shit. Now you adopting that attitude, so now you upset. Right? You like, yeah, niggas ain't shit. This nigga stole my toy, stole my clothes, stole my bike, stole the little money that I had that set me back 2 or 3 years. So now, since there was no love for me, I have no love for anybody black, because you can't really look and tell at a black person who grew up under a loving household versus who grew up under a non-loving household. You just see black. So it doesn't matter when you adopt the ideology of no love. You could be, some get it early, some get it later in life to where, yeah, you work, get your car, buy your vehicle, you riding, you get jacked, it's somebody black, now you losing love. Nigga done jacked me, man, fuck niggas ain't shit. Or it can go down to the fact that you trying to come up, you get in the game to try to make some money. You don't start off with no love. You start off in a means to just, you want to make you some extra money. But as time proceeds and you wake up, and that's one reason why I wrote the book Consequence about Vince Cole Muhammad. The reason I wrote that book is from true life experience. You can come from a household of love, get in the game. You stay in the game long enough, trust me, love is gone, because it becomes survival of the fittest, because you see the game for what it is. Somebody will take you out or attempt to take you out due to the value of that was placed upon the dope and the value that was placed upon that currency. So now you have to turn into a cold-hearted person to lose all your sense of love in order to survive in the game, because you don't know when you might have to kill, or you don't know when somebody might come for you. So now you paranoid in a sense, but yet you functioning literate, not illiterate, but literate. You functioning because you got to keep your wits about you to survive. So now you moving on in life. No love. No love females, no love males, no love black woman. I have no love for black woman. Black man, I have no love for black man, because we all will be stuck in the same community, in a box, gaming off each other, trying to come up. Because the one who created the system of no love, he know what he created, so he's not gonna come amongst you, because he don't want to look at what he created, and he don't want to get in the mix of what he created. He want to rule from the outside. And so even if he has to be the first person to ride up on a block in a mask and do a drive-by, and then put false information out in the streets that it was this gang over here, this crew, or this street over here did the drive-by. He know that anger gonna create a degree of no love so high that retaliation is a must. Now, the unsolved story with Tupac and Biggie. Pac was raised under a system of Black Panther, or Black Power, or Black love, that all black was black. But he gets out into the world and realizes every black person wasn't taught that way because every black person didn't grow up that way. Pac was taught to love black regardless because we're all coming up in a struggle. So we have to forgive each other for certain things that we do because we being manipulated. Some didn't get that teaching. Some just was taught no love from the beginning. So it was just strictly no love, survival of the fittest. You know, you better get me before I get you. Slippers goes in this game. You know what I mean? So that's Pac life. He talking black power, but he learning the system of no love because he been shot 5 times. He talking, come on, black folk, let's get together. Folks still scheming on it. White, but the really anger was that the man who created the system of no love had the mind of black people, and they couldn't wash it out or break it free. But hold on. If you study the teachings of the Nation of Islam, Master Muhammad, that's always love. You say, well, because love is not being the aggressor, but fighting with those who fight with you because you have to maintain the love. But you not looking over across the head of the next man saying, man, I like that necklace. Or damn, bruh, I see y'all making money. How can I extract it from you? You saying, damn, bro, well, what's the knowledge on that? What's the math on that? And then you see if you smart enough, intelligent enough to work the math to extract it for yourself. And that's the end of it. And so, now Biggie, he grew up. You can look at Biggie's mom and tell he grew up in a household of love. But grew to know no love. Because when you know no love, everything is just fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares? Not realizing that there's a consequence for that. Till you get older. See, that's why I'm telling youngsters or message to the young. You know, if you fortunate enough to live life to where you get to be a mature man, which you'll be blessed for because all the things you learn, grow, and see out of a love or a peaceful mindset, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. So, and then those of us who did time in the streets in one form, fashion, or another, will always reach back, whether it's through a message, through a song, whether you go hit the block and you try to talk to that one or somebody, because you know where you went wrong at, and if you would have stayed on course, man, life would have been less stressful. You probably still would have had some hair on your head. You probably still, you know what I mean? You'd have enjoyed this life too. You start opening up all the wonders in life. Put it like that. And it's like, man, if I could have got this when I was younger, you know what I mean? But it takes knowledge. That's why you always hear me revert to real knowledge. You hear me say Brother Farrakhan or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? Love came through the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Some say God came through the person of Master Farad Muhammad. But it's the same thing. Love and God is the same thing. Okay? You hear me talk about the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Knowledge. Because that knowledge is glue that holds love together. You ain't getting none of that knowledge. And you got young cats today, Red Pill and Blue Pill, Brother Panic, Bobby Hemmett, My partner, brother Krishna, boy, drop signs. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't getting that type of knowledge, that glue, you know what I mean? It's like, the Wild Wild West. Hey man, I got my pistola. You got your pistola. I'm looking at you, but you ain't coming from my perspective of of building through love. See, like you coming out of building through non-love or taking. So somebody gonna have to be the quickest. And so to avoid all of that, we're saying that you can build and gain and defend yourself and be proud of who you are with love versus building an empire, taking, destroying, robbing and killing, getting money out of no love. Because no love, why do they love the devil? Because he gives them nothing. He gives them no. No is nothing. Love is positive. It's something. It's the seed that's planted that can grow. No can't grow. So you say, well, damn, man, you could come back and you say, damn, okay, what city you in? Man, why the hood, why the projects still look the same 100 years later? Because we was planting seeds on no. Vero Pick Radio, we're out.